What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. I try to just give my raw reaction. These videos are not edited. I'm just going to give my opinion on this game. Let me pull up the box score as I always do to look at time possession, look at total yardage. Usually don't try to pay attention to that stuff during the actual game. Mike Glennon was horrible. He was completely awful. He underthrew. I think that was Slayton on that touchdown where Slayton got behind the defense and he underthrew Slayton. Two defenders were under him, but if he just led him a little bit more, that ball probably could have been a touchdown, probably could have been a big play, or at the very least, it probably just goes out of bounds innocently and it's not an interception. He had to throw to Evan Ingram that a lot of people said was inaccurate. I disagree. I thought the ball was where it should have been. I just think Evan Ingram looked over the wrong shoulder and then he had to look over the other shoulder and then he just got kind of discombobulated and he ended up not making the catch. Either way, I'm not going to nitpick. I don't know what the design was for that specific route and where he was supposed to be, but I kind of felt like that was more on Evan Ingram than Mike Glennon. But sure, I'll let some people have that. And then there was one play to John Ross where he just completely missed that. I don't think DJ misses that throw, but we also can't be unrealistic and act like DJ was lighting the world on fire and he was making every single throw, because I've seen the guy miss throws, very simple throws in the flats, downfield. I've seen that happen recently. I see it happen at least once or twice a week. So, like I said, let's not try to rewrite history here and pretend that our quarterback was going out putting up 27 a game. But either way, Mike Glennon was horrible. Uh, really bad. Threw the ball 44 times, only 187 yards. Saquon, another big run this week, 23-yard carry, but nothing to write home about. I mean, he continues to miss holes at some points, and then most of the time the offensive line gives Saquon nowhere to run, like absolutely nowhere to go with the football. There's like a sea of white jerseys. Today it was white jerseys in the backfield, ready to tackle Saquon as soon as he touches the ball. Evan Ingram, for the most part, besides that one play where I don't know if that was his fault or the quarterback's fault, but besides that one play, Evan Ingram kind of stepped up. He made a couple of nice catches. He made a couple of nice catches. I'll say, he for the most part was pretty reliable. If he kind of drops, that's his third drop of the season, which isn't bad because last year was a complete mess. Galladay made a couple of nice catches and then disappeared. He got injured. I don't know what's going on with his ribs. Probably around Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be seeing Galladay limited, Galladay questionable. We'll see. That's probably what's going to be happening as the week goes along. Other than that, nobody really was able to do much because the quarterback was atrocious. The offensive line didn't give the quarterback any time. Andrew Thomas ended up giving up a sack, but he kind of had to protect for a long time because Glennon was just kind of patting the ball like he thought he had a good offensive line. Either way, he had way too long and he probably should have gotten rid of the ball. I won't really put that on Andrew Thomas. Tay Crowder had a decent game, a couple of nice tackles. I'm looking at, don't say that he had a tackle for loss, but I'm pretty sure I saw him tackle someone behind the line. Maybe it was just, maybe it was at the line. But Tay Crowder, solid game from what I saw. Led the team in tackles. Aaron Robinson gave up a couple of catches. But I see him competing out there. That's all I can ask. It's what third or fourth game playing outside as a starter. So he's getting thrown into the fire. Logan Ryan made some tackles, but he also missed some. And I'm kind of starting to get annoyed with seeing him on the field. It seems like the defense looks so much better with Julian Love in that spot. So I'm kind of thinking that we need to put Julian Love back out there. The defense, for the most part, wasn't bad. They gave Azeez Ojulari a full sack for this one sack that he got. But if you ask me, it was a half a sack because it looked like Lorenzo Carter actually did the wrapping. But Azeez got a sack. Quincy Roche got a sack, so that's always fun. Ellerson Smith, I'm not sure if I saw him in there or not, but I'd like to see him in there, especially now that we're 4-8. We have nothing to lose at that point. Total yards, Dolphins 297, Giants 250. Dolphins time of possession 30 minutes, Giants 29. But for the most part, the Dolphins kind of dominated time of possession for most of the game. Kind of got evened out, and it's not really telling a true story of what happened during the game. For the first time in I don't know how many games, maybe over 10, The Giants defense did not get a turnover. The Dolphins kept, they kept control of the football. They held on to the ball. They did not take the risk. We had a couple of chances at interceptions, but for the most part, the Dolphins protected the ball and we broke our streak. We did not get that turnover this game. Total plays 68 for the Dolphins, 64 for the Giants. But again, that kind of evened out as the game went on. So those are like the overarching box score stats. What am I thinking from this game? First off, the coaching continues to not be there. The coaching just doesn't look good at all. Joe Judge makes a ton of questionable calls. Like the clock is running out. The clock is running out, and I just don't get it. There's 18 seconds left on the clock, 18 on the play clock, and instead of just letting it run out, he calls a timeout because he thinks we're going to get a delay of game. And then, of course, we don't score on that drive. It's a waste of a timeout. He continues to find new and exciting ways to waste a timeout. I just don't get it. Nate Solder is still playing. I understand. I saw the quote from that. I saw the video actually from Rob Sale, who was saying that Matt Parrott doesn't play with that nasty streak, doesn't play like, doesn't play like an offensive lineman. And I understand that. But Nate Solder is not good. He's trying hard, but he physically cannot do it anymore. He does not seem mentally in there anymore either, but he does seem to play a little bit tougher than Matt Parrott. But just give Matt Parrott a chance. Throw him out there. Maybe he is just a big, huge person who just is a finesse guy, and maybe he just can go out there and just play finesse football at right tackle. It can't be worse than what we have. This is where I'm at with the Giants right now. It cannot be worse than what we already see out there. If you throw me at right guard, you throw me at center, you throw me at left guard. What do we have there? Yeah. If you throw me at right tackle, nothing can possibly be worse than what we have right there on the field. And look, I am not a 320-pound man. So I do not believe that I could physically be worse than what we have on this offensive line. This draft capital needs to go directly into getting offensive linemen. I tried to say this during the offseason. We need to focus on getting offensive linemen. I talked about Matt Fielder. I talked about a bunch of offensive linemen I felt we should have gone after. We did not target Matt Fielder, who was out there helping the Chargers offensive line be a good offensive line. We did not target him. We didn't go an offensive lineman in the first round, which was fine. I wanted to take Darisaw at 20 something, but I'm not even sure if he's healthy at this point. I'm not gonna worry about that because I like the Tony pick if he can stay healthy. But we had a ton of opportunities in that draft to take an interior offensive lineman. We just didn't do it. We had time after time after time after time. Just go ahead and select that lineman. Go ahead and take the lineman. This is one of the deepest interior offensive lineman draft classes that we've seen. And maybe next year it's a little bit deeper, but it's a little bit more top heavy also. But we had so many options, and we continued not to take an offensive lineman. We continue to pass on guys like Quinn Myers. Quinn Myers, Ben Cleveland. We took a cornerback, which I guess is helping us out right now. But would you rather an offensive lineman that can actually block, or would you rather a cornerback who, we should have been taking offensive linemen. It's just, there's no way you can convince me that offensive line was something you felt good about. Shane Lemieux was already a question mark. Nick Gates, he was solid. Andrew Thomas was solid. Everything else was a question mark. You were saying that you felt good about the offensive line and Matt Parrott, but Matt Parrott isn't playing. Shane Lemieux is injured. Nick Gates is injured. Yes, those are 3 starters or 2 starters. Those 2 starters are out for the season, but Will Hernandez is horrible. Nate Solder is horrible. It's just not good enough. So this offensive line has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. We cannot continue. We didn't take a single offensive lineman last year in the draft. You rarely see that happen for an NFL team, that they don't take at least one developmental offensive lineman. I'm not someone who said that we need to go on the Trey Smith train and we need to take the guy with a bunch of health issues. And that's why I'm not mad about that. I'm mad about the picks before that, where we had chances to take an offensive lineman and we didn't. So listen, 2 top 10 picks next year. I would not be mad if both of them were on the offensive line. I would not be mad if one of them was an edge and one was an offensive line because, again, the Giants did not get any pressure. We got those 2 sacks, but other than that, there wasn't that much pressure applied. I mean, and then a ton of times where we get pressure, we don't bring the quarterback down. Uh, I mean, what can I say? The team does not look good. Mike Glennon stinks. DJ, the offense doesn't look that much different with Daniel Jones. And I mean, I can talk about Daniel Jones. I have been kind of, laying into him, saying that he's not been playing well these last couple of weeks and that he's probably not the guy. But at the end of the day, it is very difficult for any offense to function when the offensive line cannot even get you 3 yards of carry running the football. I don't know what the stats say because there was a couple of, 2 or 3 or 4 big runs that just happened. But for the most part, the offensive line cannot consistently get you 2 to 3 yards. It's like you're risking losing yards every time you run the ball. You cannot run an offense like that. You cannot run an offense where there's pressure immediately. We have got to address that. That's the number one. That's the number one thing. The pass rush is also a huge, huge, huge need, but we have got to address the offensive line. I don't want to hear any more excuses about it. I don't care who's making those picks. It needs to be done. I've been going on a rant about that for a while. But other than that, I mean, the Giants are going nowhere fast. We lost to a team that is better than us right now. They're kind of their trajectory is kind of pointing up. They've won 5 in a row now. So good luck to the Dolphins fans. Good luck to them the rest of the season. They got some good players over there. Let's hope that the Giants can, whatever we got to do to stabilize this offense so we can put up more than 20 points a game. It's getting out of hand, guys. You guys let me know what you're thinking. To me, it's just I just it's difficult to watch. It's getting out of hand when you can't score 20 points a game. It's 2021, guys. Let me know what you all are thinking.